Hi lovelies, it's Ethany and welcome to Oracle Wednesday, which is a pick your card or pick your pile of cards tarot and oracle card reading for the 25th of March through to the 1st of April 2020. In a moment, you are going to see three piles of cards. You're going to pick the one that you feel the most drawn to or that you feel holds a message for you or that your guides lead you to pick. Then you're going to come back, see my face, and I'm going to reveal the cards and the message for you. If you want to know about the decks that I use in this week's Oracle Wednesday, you can scroll down and have a look in the description box below, or you can wait until the end of the video as well, where I'm actually going to show you a few cards from each of the decks. If you don't want to miss out on Oracle Wednesday at all, ever, you can also opt in the description box below and get it every week to your inbox. I mean, free reading every week. Not bad, hey? So let's do this thing and I'll see you in a moment.
All right, my lovely ones, here are your piles of cards for this week. Starting from left, we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I highly recommend that once you have picked the pile you feel the most drawn to, you write down the number so you don't forget. It has happened. And now you selected, let's go back and get your messages revealed.
Okay, so let's get on to those messages revealed. Group number 1 or pile number 1, I will go between those two things interchangeably. Your cards for this week are Perspective, the Eight of Swords. Doesn't change, it's just the order. I could have said one around the other. And the Empress. Alrighty, so I'm just going to get these in my hands for you in a way that you can see them. Alrighty, so your message is that this week is a reminder that life is really what you make of it. And this is extremely relatable right now, where a lot of us are being very confined in our environments and having to adapt to radically changing circumstances in the world. Many people are in isolation and spending more and more time with the people they live with and with their families and loved ones. That can create a little bit of cabin fever, which can be a frustrating situation, and you can see people maybe on edge a little bit. If you have picked this pile this week, you're being asked to create a small ritual for yourself and the people around you to do every morning. This will help everyone start their day right. Now, if you can't get everyone in your house on board with this, which is totally fine, not everyone is down for creating sacred space, or even the word ritual can bring up some stuff for people, then something that you can do for yourself. Having some mantras that you can say every morning as soon as you wake up can be a great way to start your brain in a space of gratitude and openness. Create time in your day to do something fun or work on your hobbies or learn something new online that you've always wanted to do. For me, I've always wanted to learn how to do digital art and take my art onto a digital platform. Although I do have a lot of writing to do as well. I'm making sure I am getting to some of my hobbies, including write a lot of pen paling at the moment. Cultivate kindness as much as you possibly can in your home and also online. This is a very intense time for most of us, so working to keep that as a healthier space as possible. The Eight of Swords reminds us that we are all in this together. By changing our perspectives and being good to each other, we can all get through this. And this feeling of being trapped and isolated is definitely not something that you're alone in. If this is how you're feeling, make sure you're reaching out to the people that can help you come closer together. I was lucky enough to play D&D with my regular D&D group online last night. We all hung out via Zoom, and it was really great. Not as good as obviously hanging out in real life, but it was pretty awesome to be able to continue on and have something that resembled to normal. Perspective is just the way that we bring our thoughts into this world and how we change things for ourselves and those others around us with that mind, with our mind and our words and the way in which we see things, which is very connected to the Eight of Swords. And the Empress is a card of nurturing and being there and open for people. Now, this is a deck I have never used before in Oracle Wednesday. I got this deck a very, very long time ago, and it actually has it's called the Global Eye Angelic Deck, and I never do this. This was a limited printing of 500 from Penny Chesney. I think I came across these when I was doing my Aurosoma training. I think my Aurosoma teacher actually had them. So these all have angels in them, and this is the healing angel Anael. So there's actually a prayer in here, and I'm going to read each one of them. Or there's a celestial prayer for the Empress. I'm going to read each one of these for this week. I never read from the guidebook ever. I always create my own readings for you all. But this felt really important, a really important thing right now. And one of the symbols that really leapt out to me is this broken planet, our current earthly problems of a global nature, folly and mistakes. But there is new growth from the planet, the opportunity to learn from our mistakes. So that broken planet in there, but then we've got that new growth coming in. It really spoke to me about what's going on in the world. So this is the celestial prayer for the Empress. I open my heart to thee, healing great Anael, and I open my soul to your light. Allow me to be powerful in these times of chaos, radiating nurturing strength wherever my path may lead. Permit my life to be full of growth and fruitfulness. I ask this for the good of all and it harm none. I thank thee for thy gift of healing, and I thank thee for my many blessings. Amen. So this was something that I felt was really important to share. And you can also see in here, we've got Australia down there. I'm pretty sure this is an Australian creator. Yeah, I wanted to share all of these with you. And working with the Aurosoma system, I'm kind of going off a little bit of a tangent, but it's relevant. Working with the Aurosoma system, you work with a lot of Ascended Masters, you work with Christ Consciousness, you work with the Archangels. So as a working, very eclectic, very out of the broom closet witch, I work with beings of light. And I've got absolutely no problem with working with archangels and using words such as Amen. And I have deep respect for any religion and path and spiritual way of being that brings people close together, heals and loves. I love that whole thing of just don't be an asshole. But pray to whoever you want to, just be nice. Okay, so that's group number one. Pile number two. We have grounding. I would like to go and lie in the grass surrounded by crystals right now. Judgment. And the Page of Cups. Lots of red in this. I didn't just notice that. Okay, I'm going to organize these for you so you can hopefully see most of it. So pile number two, group number two. Now is the time where you're being called upon to practice what you spiritually preach. Sometimes it's not as easy to put our money where our mouth is spiritually when it comes to the lessons that we have learned and the way in which we are being asked to be in the world. When you're faced with uncertainty and emotions running high, it can be very, very clear with this test just how much spiritual work you have actually done. So the question comes to you, what are you going to do this week to remain centered and put your knowledge into action? Ground and protect yourself often. Come back to the middle of your soul. Recall your energy and try not to take on other people's stuff as your own. And I know that can be extremely difficult if you are in close confines, if you're working from home, and if you're finding it very difficult to even get your own space right now. Go for a walk. Go for a walk responsibly. Go for a walk and get some fresh air. I take my puppy out for a walk a couple of times a day, and that's a really good way of ensuring that I'm getting out of the house and breathing a little bit. It's also a lovely way to connect with the outdoors and get some greenery and get that grounding energy on. Judgment is a reminder to resist the urge as much as possible to judge others or yourself too harshly in this time, as we are in very unusual circumstances globally, and many of us have not had anything like this happen in our lifetime. So trying to remain as unjudgmental as possible, as long as it's not people endangering other people's lives, of course, but being as open as you can in regards to the people who are in close vicinity, especially those that you love. The Page of Cups is a reminder that everyone you know at the moment is holding a full cup of emotions, and it may quickly spill over if we're not taking care of our emotional needs. I liken this to having that one drop that goes in that glass and it tips it over. So you never know how full somebody else's cup is. You don't know how much they're taking on. Empaths, especially those of you who have picked this pile this week, tend your waters. Make sure you're checking in with your guides, you're wearing your crystals, you're using your oils, you're breathing in, you're protecting yourself with shields, because you don't necessarily want to, have all this external energy pressing on you. Like I know for myself, I can't watch the news, I can't watch regular TV. I'm very specific about what kind of news I actually do ingest, because it triggers the empath in me, and I have to be very careful about what I allow in my space. Affirmations of positivity and love are needed very much this week. If you can get outside and put your bare feet on the ground and get into a space where you can get some grounding. If not, go and do some grounding exercises, even just 5 minutes before you wake up or before you go to bed. Use some grounding stones like hematite, smoky quartz, tiger's eye. Good red tiger's eye will get your lower chakras activated. All those root stones can help you come into your body a little bit as well. So Judgment in the Global Light Angelic Tarot, I had all these sticky tabs, is the Archangel Azrael. And I wanted to have a quick look at the symbology of this too, because I did pick these. So we have the maiden hair fern, which is released from aggravation, and that is the fern that is around the border. And then we have the singing bird, the herald of new opportunities, the sunrise of fresh light and new opportunities and renewal. And this is the Celestine prayer for judgment. Azrael of the sword, I welcome thy royal light. Please help me break free of all negative ties that have prevented me from gaining my fullest potential. So eloquent I am. Allow me to recognize the influences that no longer serve me. Free me from karmic bonds and restrictions. I ask this for good of all and harm to none, and thank thee for my many blessings. Amen. The words are being tricksy. Okay, that is you, group number 2. Now, number 3. Pile number 3. Your cards are Shadow, Art, or Temperance, and the Page of Swords. The Pages really wanted to come out and play today. I'm not surprised at all with all of this mass communication going around, lots of change to policies and procedures, a lot of misinformation going around, a lot of people's opinions, even like conspiracy theories and things like that. I'm not going to get into any of that, but I'm not surprised that the Pages we're wanting to be seen in this reading today. So for you, group number 3, words may not be your friend this week. Be very careful before you react to what others are saying or what you read online, especially right now, because a lot of us are doing a lot of stuff online, especially working from home and things like that. You need to walk away from arguments or scroll past something aggravating online without posting a bitchy comment in response. It's time to be the voice of reason if things are getting snarky in your environment. The shadow card is present there, as there are times where the not so nice side of ourselves wants to come out and play. It's like when we have the little devil on our shoulder and the little angel on our shoulder, and sometimes the little devil is like, I haven't been out to play in a while, let me free, mistress, and it just wants to go and create trouble out of boredom or whatever is, stoking your fire, whatever you feel drawn to. Or simply, we have, many of us lead such busy lives that we don't actually spend an awful lot of time on our own. We don't spend any time in solitude. And this has been a real shock and a real adjustment for a lot of people. So that a lot of that shadow stuff can come up. If you don't recognize that comes on, that itch is starting to want to get scratched, and that feeling of feeling a little destructive and not really sure that you're in the best frame of mind, and then you go online and start a fight. If you do ignore it, you may be the one starting all the shit fights this week, and there's just really no need for it. The cleanup is not going to be fun if this is the case. You have been warned. So the Page of Swords is not only here to remind you about your words and the power of words. So words can't be taken back. Especially if you're getting into arguments with the people that you love. You can apologize, but those words will never be unheard. So being really careful, remembering that online there is no such thing as tone, so not reading into everything this week, Page of Swords people. Own your own shit here and ensure that you're not just being dramatic for dramatic's sake, especially with a lot of us communicating now online. And also critical thinking, for the love of God, please critical think. Do not believe everything you hear. I have been getting so many DMs in my Facebook about just random posts, and I'm just like, oh, delete, move on, because I don't think most of them are credible. Now, art or a temperance is about balance. And if we can bring that balance to ourselves, especially in regards to that shadow side with any integration, that is really going to help this week. I mean, shadow work is, I've said this probably so many times, that it's probably boring some of you, that, shadow work is not a one and done sort of situation. And it's, it might be something that you can look at this week if you are being triggered. So the archangel for this one is Sachiel. And we have there is a lot of stuff here that is on one and the other. Is on one end of the other. So we have the rainbow and creative inspiration and success, but we are in the spindle of like combining life forces. But we also have the weeping woman. And the burning building, which is representative of the out of control situations at the moment and stress. So trying to find the balance inside of everything that's kind of going on at the moment. So this is the Celestine prayer for art. Guide me, great Sachiel, along my life path. I must learn life's lessons that I may bring balance and understanding in my dealings with others. So I got to whoop. Allow me to rise above my earthly passions. Help me to create a spectrum of spiritual color in my life and recognize the joy and gentle power this brings. Teach me self-worth and to spread my colors far and wide, bringing joy to the universe. I ask this for the good of all and at harm none, and I thank thee for thy many blessings. Amen. So that is you, group number 3. So that is everyone's message for this week, and just a big hello out there. I hope you're doing okay. Let me know how you're going in the comments below. What have you been getting up to? Are we binging anything fun? Are we reading anything fun? Have we found any fun things on the YouTubes? Are we doing any cool creative things? If you are still here in this video and you haven't joined us for the Pentacles Challenge, I'm going live every day for the next 13 days. I was day 1 yesterday, the Ace of Pentacles, in the Tarot Readers Academy Facebook group, and also on Instagram live. You can ask me for the link. You only have 1 day to catch up on, so it's a really good time to join. I think, no, actually at this point it would be 2 days. So still a really good time to do it. And I'm, working on just being really present as much as possible with the community. So let's have a look at the decks this week. Now I will start with the Global Angelite Tarot. This is by, as I mentioned before, Penny Chesney. And it is a Major Arcana only deck, and I don't have many Major Arcana only decks, and I have never used this deck in Oracle Wednesday before. This is she created this in the year 2000, and it's so beautiful. Now I laminated this, it didn't come laminated. I laminated this deck because I wanted to be able to use it without ruining it. The backs are really beautiful with the angels and all the colors and the sacred geometry with the spiral. It's such a beautiful deck, and as I mentioned, I found this deck while I was doing my Aura Soma training, and I really, really adore it. It's one that I usually use for myself, but I really wanted to share it this week. I'm diving into, isn't she gorgeous? Look at that moon. So the priestess. I'm diving deep into the realms of of my deck collection to bring decks that I have never used before out to play. Now this is still available from what I can see on the author's website. I'll just show you one more. Things are falling. It's a lovely deck. So it is a Major Arcana deck. And then the next one I'm using is the Water Sprite Tarot. Now this is a deck that I have done an unboxing. It's by A. Mian McDonald. And there is an unboxing on my channel and a full walkthrough. It's a really lovely Rider-Waite deck. I wanted to use. Gotta use those decks, right? So they tell me. No, it's been lovely to be able to do the readings with like a number of cards and see how they all play together. It's been really, really fun. And I get a lot of really positive feedback, which is nice. Because sometimes it can feel like you're just like out here all alone, just talking to a camera, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. My neighbors will probably think I'm nuts. And then finally, the Awakened Soul Oracle, my baby, one of my babies, and it's so close to being finished. Actually, the deck will be finished printing this week, and it'll be on its way. So everyone who has pre-ordered the second edition with the changes in the cards, there's 8 new cards, well 8 changed cards. You will be getting your decks coming soon. All right, my lovelies, this has been a bit of a long one, but I hope you have enjoyed the ride, so to speak. I hope you are staying safe and sane and healthy and happy, and I will see you all next time.